I've read many, many statements over the years where the opening paragraph or the opening sentence was, you know, a quote from Einstein, or somebody from the biology books, or some famous researcher. Or it's the story when I was 5, my grandmother was sick and I felt helpless because I couldn't help her. And since that day, I wanted to be a doctor. Well, you know what? I doubt it. Maybe it was the first idea you had, but it's not since that day Grandma got sick. There's got to be more to it. There's more to all of you. I mean, once I see you in my office, I really get to know you, and I get to understand where you're coming from and why going to med school is something that you really want to do and you think is right. Because at the end of the day, it's something you need to want to obtain, okay? It's the brass ring of the healthcare system, is my understanding. And sometimes we think we want to go to med school because it's this brass ring. And along the way, we're obviously encouraged, especially by our parents, because for them it's the brass ring for you. You know, they want you to definitely succeed. But know that it's the right decision. Because once you know 100% without a doubt it's your choice to be a doctor, you will write the best statement ever. If you're still, I'm not sure, I'll give it a try, I think it's what I want, it's what I said I wanted, you know, since I started going to McGill, but 3 years later, maybe things have changed. You've exposed yourself to other healthcare professions, or maybe you've decided to completely, quote unquote, flip over. You know, you're going into business, something completely different, because that might be what is meant for you. But hopefully throughout your years, and you have a couple left before you apply, at least some of you, you're going to test the waters, you're going to get involved in these extracurricular activities that are either going to strengthen your application for med school or help you decide that maybe you're going to hold off and you're not going to go to med school or make an application right away. You're going to try something different or go in a different direction. Which, if I had a lot more time, I'd start talking about plan B, but I won't. Or I will take all the time. For the whole symposium, which is not a good thing because there's a lot of great speakers for you here tonight. At the end of the day, ultimately your personal statement has to impress them enough to want to call you in for an interview, because it's kind of like that process, and I think people are going to attest to that whole admissions process. You know, it might start off with your CGPA, transcript, and CAT scores, depending where you're applying, of course, but then they have to make decisions afterwards on who to filter through, who to invite, who not to invite. And if you have a really good statement and your CGPA is maybe not at that perfect level, guess what? Your statement is going to help increase the lack of a CGPA, not lack of, but a lower CGPA. There's exceptions to everything. It's just like when you look at requirements on anybody's website and they say minimum CGPA, I don't know, just throw it out there, 3.5. Dang, I got 3.3. Forget that school. That's what most students say. I said, no. There may be a reason for your 3.3. There might be a reason they wrote 3.5, because it was last year's median CGPA of the med school students that were admitted. You know? And maybe from that batch, all of a sudden it was all those BA students that applied. How many of you are BA students? Nothing against BA students, trust me. Okay? It's just to say that it can fluctuate. You know? Or if you do have a much lower CGPA, I mean, don't burn your bridges and don't say it's over, I can never get in. Because it really depends. You know, admissions committees, they look at your application as a whole. When they're looking at your transcript, it's kind of like a heartbeat, you know? Like, are you kind of like this? Like, you're kind of steady? Your grades are a little up, a little down, but ultimately they're even? Or did you have like a crash in semester 2 or your first semester while you're readjusting? You know, getting used to Montreal, getting used to university setting, you know? Were you steadily going up and then something happened in second year? Could have been a personal situation that you had to deal with. And they take that into consideration, okay? So I don't want that to get you guys down. Have you ever heard of attributes of physicianship, by the way? You going to talk about that?
Not so much.
Oh, not so much.
We'll still get into school.
Oh, okay. It's just to say, and I think I can take two minutes on this just real quick. I don't want to go through what the attributes of physicianship are. What the concept to me is what you see here in this diagram. And this is the changing face of med school over the years, especially since I started at McGill. Ultimately, in 2001, or probably years before I got here, they were looking for the brainiacs, right? This is what they wanted in a good physician. Somebody who excelled in science, somebody who was smart, somebody who could basically be that healer, okay? What they forgot, or didn't realize, I shouldn't say forget, sorry about that, what they didn't realize is that there's a professional that needs to go with that healer. There's a human being behind that doctor that needs to be there. There needs to be somebody with good communication skills, somebody who can interact with individuals, somebody who can be caring. So that human side to the scientific side. So it's where the healer and the professional come together. And that's the new doctor that they're looking for now. So it's not just about being smart, okay? It's also about how you're going to interact with your patients and the team that you're going to be in down the road. And they base their analysis, their assessment of you upon these attributes of being a good physician. So when you go through the MMI or whatever type of interview that school is doing, they kind of have a little scoreboard there, you know, and they're saying, oh, well, they're going to do this scenario during the MMI because it's going to test their level of communication. It's going to test their level of maturity, of common sense. It's not how good they are in bio 396 or whatever level bio courses you guys take, okay? It's not about that. It's about the person. So I'd like you to remember that, okay? When you're getting ready to make your applications and when you're putting together your personal statement, this is what they want. They want the healer with the professional. It's not just the scientist that they're looking for. So the resources offered at CaPS, I'm hoping you're familiar with CaPS. We are just across the street, you know, 3600 McTavish, second floor. So next time you're eating at Tiki Mang or Veggie Rama, just go through the hallway, the 2 blue doors. Oh, we're right there. And we've always been there. We offer a number of resources and services for you. You can meet with a career advisor like myself or anybody else at any point in time. Just come by or call to make an appointment. Whether you're at the phase of I'm not sure I'm going to apply, or I'm going to apply next year or the year after and I want to know how to better prepare myself, we can help you with that. But we don't have a magic formula. We can't say fill in the blanks, see what you're missing. It's you as an individual, what you need to do to solidify your choices and to add to your CV and things that you'd like to get involved with, and we can help you find those things, whether it's an internship, job shadowing through Medspecs, or any other activity that you'd like to get involved in. We help you with personal statements. I'm sure by now you guys have heard that we do mock MMIs. Do you know that? No? Okay, well now I told you. And actually your next speaker might talk a little bit about the mock MMIs that we do at CaPS, which will be in the new year, in January and February. Do you guys know My Future? Are you familiar with My Future, where we put all our job postings, internship, volunteer opportunities, events on campus? Well, hopefully you'll get familiar with My Future. You will see advertisement there in the new year for our mock MMIs if you'd like to take a run at it. And if you don't want to do it as a group, like because we do a half day or a full day of MMIs, you can do a one-on-one with a career advisor at any time. We have tons of books, like I mentioned already, on personal statements, on med schools from around the world, whether you're interested in going to the Caribbean or the UK. We have documentation and online resources to help you find the information. So really, I'm not going to take up any more time tonight. I just want to let you know that CaPS is here for you. We are well versed in the admissions process. By no means are we a med school, nor do we represent the Faculty of Medicine. I think it's just been a high demand over the number of years that I've been here and prior to that to help you with your application process that we've become pretty good at. Yes, you have a question?
An approximation of how many students at McGill apply in med school versus how many get in?
How many apply to McGill and how many get in?
Any med school, any people from McGill.
Oh, okay. You know, I don't have that stat, but I do have access to that stat at my office. Because off the top of my head, that would be really cool if I could do it, but I can't. But I have a general idea. And websites, to be honest, like Princeton Review and Kaplan offer such statistics. If you're looking for that right away on your laptop. Another quick question or two before I go? Yes?
Sorry, what's an MMI?
Very good question. You know what? That's fair. Anybody would like to tell her what an MMI is? Yes?
Multiple mini interviews.
Correct. And how many do you or could you have at one university?
10.
Up to 10? Actually, I heard somebody did 12 out west once. But no, it's crazy. They are very small interviews. They're scenario-based interviews. So as opposed to the traditional behavioral where you'll meet one professor, one community representative, and one med student, and they'll dart questions at you, and you're like, choo, 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 answering them. What they'll do now is they'll stick you literally in rooms, and you'll go from room to room to room, and you have to address a particular situation, a particular scenario in that one room with a very small amount of time. So you basically have 2 minutes to read what the scenario is on the outside. You walk in, you deal with it, and then you walk out and you move on. No time to cry, no time to think about it, you just got to keep moving. Very stressful, but it's a very good assessment technique. Just to say, we used to do the behavioral type interviews for quite a few years until McMaster introduced the MMI, and all the universities are now adopting this method. And I can tell you, you see a heck of a lot more truth about an individual through an MMI than you do on a regular one-on-one type interview. Yeah?
Sorry, for MMI, would it be very specific, like medicine issues, or would it just be?
It's a variety of things. Again, I'm not sure if you're going to bring
Not
it
at
up.
all.
You're not. No, if you're bringing it up during your
I
talk.
am, yeah.
Okay, so he's going to talk a little bit about it. But normally, no. And a lot of students end up thinking that, and they start reading like the ethics book, and they start reading up cases and whatnot. A lot of it has to do with common sense and how you deal with situations. Because ultimately, you're not a doctor, right? You want to be a doctor, so how could you know? One more question?
Oh, sorry, I just didn't get your name.
Thank you. It's Linda, Linda. And my last name is Cicuta, Cicuta. That's my email address, linda.cicuta@mcgill.ca. If you ever want to throw a question at me, and if you can't remember my first name and my last name, go on our website, mcgill.ca/CaPS. Right-hand side, it says Ask an Advisor. That's me. Okay, so if you can't remember who I am or where to find me, go to Ask an Advisor. I get all those emails. All right, so thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, we'll take the